It is raining like a motherfucker. Poor dog, you are soaked, dude. My dog is soaking wet. Poor little thing. Okay, cool. Sweet. There we go. Okie dokie. Hey, what is up? Get a coffee in me. Ugh. Stoney hit me up. Something about ripping ass. What? Weird. And probably awkward, I would imagine. I'm assuming he probably has a thing for that. Incredibly. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm assuming he must have a thing for that, because I'm not gonna lie, he's done that to me in the past. I mean, whatever, if he's into it, he's into it. So.
It looks like you're ready to go for a walk.
He already did, he's wet.
Oh, okay. I said that before I finished.
Yeah.
Obviously, you already did. I was going to say, you probably don't want to go for a walk right now.
I did to go grab a coffee and it wasn't raining, and then, well, it started pouring like a motherfucker as soon as, like, you know, I got outside.
Yeah, I hate when you get halfway to where you're going and then it suddenly starts pouring rain and just, shit, do I run back home or...
Don't do that.
Run to the store and wait for the rain to stop. But it doesn't matter if you're already soaking wet anyhow.
Hey, buddy, there you go.
I've seen rain like, I've never seen in Oregon.
Well, I've seen some pretty crazy fucking rains before. I've seen some pretty crazy rains before. I mean, not around here. Well, I mean, yeah, you can.
It's a good area.
Texas is.
From Montana east.
Well, anything with the Great Plains and shit, yeah. But, especially. But, yeah, like, you know, I've seen it pretty nuts, and...
Hey, come on.
Oh, did you just... Uh-oh.
You bum?
You just sat on your chair?
Get my seat all wet. Let's go. There you go.
Oh, that poor baby. I want to be dry.
Yeah, I want to dry up and it's bad for your sit.
Oh, poor baby.
Yeah, I already soaked my own bed, so...
We went on and,
I was just soaking my finger and I fell asleep and it spilled and I got a big...
Oh, you spilled, like, some water or something?
Yeah.
Well, that would explain why you were, pantsless.
Yeah.
I was asking, I was like, thinking in my head, what the fuck? Did you just take a shower, but you weren't, like, freshly out of shower vibes? So I was like, okay.
No, I was covered in saltwater vibe.
Sukov! No!
So I got some dirty pants and hopefully it rain slows up enough I can run out to the truck and get my smokes.
Republicans spending plan to avoid a government shutdown is discussing 80% to WIC. Hold on. Sukov! No! I mean, Venom, are you honestly, like, surprised, though? I mean, like, the Republicans are, like, will do literally anything and everything to, like, cut whatever the fuck they can in an attempt to basically just, like, you know, prevent what is ostensibly their fault when it comes to the shutdown. So now they're trying to do this as, like, see, now if you don't, you know, pass this, then you're at fault, actually. Even though it's still them. They're at fault for it. Is there a way to try to pin the blame on the Democrats, basically? They also try to fuck over vets. Well, at this point, like, the idea that they respect the troops and love the vets and shit, like, that kind of died. Like, honestly, after, like, the Iraq War and stuff like that, like, a lot of soldiers and vets kind of realized that no one gives a fuck about the vets and shit, basically, when it comes to our government, especially Republicans, as much as they fucking pretend. And, a lot of them have realized, nah, fuck them. We don't, want their stupid, like, bullshit snake oil, and they don't even bother to try to sell that to them anymore. Like, legit. Like, honestly, a lot of these Republican fucks legit just don't even bother trying to sell that anymore because so many vets have been, spat in the eye over and over again when it came to, like, places like in Iraq and shit. So, at the end of the day, of course, like, they just kind of see, it's more of an investment to just not bother with it and just rub it in their face openly and just, like, pander to our fucking base that actually does like us. Essentially, it's like what the fuck Republicans do at certain points. Like, once they realize they can't really, like, sell a certain message because either people realize that's bullshit or whatever the fuck, then they just move on to another one. And then they literally will just stab, those that they were initially selling in the back and basically just saying, nah, fuck you. You weren't loyal anymore. California did a base thing. Ban schools for banning books based on LGBT issues. Good. Now, if, the rest of the states, in the West Coast can do that. I guess to be fair, a lot of, like, the anti-discrimination laws in Oregon are pretty, pretty heavy anyway, so in a sense, like, shit like that probably wouldn't even be able to get, be done in the first place anyway. Just based off of, like, discrimination laws in Oregon. If I had to take a guess. Unless it's, like, some private fucking school, because we also stupidly have religious exemptions, as a, law here. When it comes to a lot of various different things, which is just insane. I think that shit's just so dumb. Like, the only time I can understand maybe, like, a religious exemption, if it's, like, maybe, like, you have to, like, I don't know, like, drink some alcohol for, like, a show, or for, like, a meeting or something, and it's, like, considered sin or haram or whatever, and you're just like, I can't do that, it would be against my beliefs or whatever. At that point, I can maybe understand that, because at that point, it would just be more of a private affair, but, like, forcing that as, like, a law or a state, or, as, like, to push something like that is just fucking ridiculous. Just, courses in college should be the extent of religion in school. Sure. I'm not really against that idea either. I'd be okay if, like, a school was, like, based off of, like, some, like, church or whatever, as long as it's heavily fucking taxed and extremely regulated, just as much, if not maybe even more so, than public schools. Just because, like, they would have extra stringent, like, things that they would have to, abide by, as far as I'm concerned. And especially the taxing part. But that just goes with churches across the board. Like, churches just simply need to be taxed. Like they are in, like, other countries. So it's like, what the fuck? So we went to the best Waffle House ever today. The best Waffle House? The best, huh? Got food there in less than 10 minutes after getting there. Well, it's a fast food place. Shouldn't that technically be kind of par for the course? At least I would assume so. It's a sit-down diner. Well, at least the ones I've seen are also, like, sit-down diners, but also will, like, have drive-thrus or, like, pick up, like, parking spots where you can, like, roll up, order it in, get your shit picked up, and then you go. I'm guessing maybe just depending on the location, it probably differs. Usually you gotta wait, like, half an hour. No. So it's kind of like a more, I guess, more or less, kind of fast casual stuff. For the most part. Zooks.
Andrew?
Yeah, hold on. What's up? Zooks.
Are you on your phone?
Oh, yeah. I
Oh,
just
sorry.
started my stream. Just got good time.
We were okay to leave that here. Until you take your time tonight, or I just don't want my baby to go. So,
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
mean, my baby to
Right, yeah.
yeah.
That's fine.
What time will you be home?
Probably, like, between maybe, like, 11 and midnight or something. I don't know how long the show goes, but usually concerts go until, like, 11 midnight, so probably between, like, midnight, somewhere around there. Midnight to 1.
Yeah, what does he lock? What does he lock?
Probably not. If my dad's home, then probably not. He usually locks it, like, later in the night before he goes to bed, and usually, you know.
Would you just like set it right here or something?
Yeah. Yeah, it should be fine.
Jimmy?
I'll just remind him.
Okay.
Getting late. Oh my good lord.
I just don't trust Trina. She's out there. She was just out there screaming I was posting for shit. I serious. She's just evil, dude.
And I started walking back to the apartment. I was walking up, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She was walking her dog or something.
It's only dog, yeah. Wait, you just Come on.
Hi, Pete. Come here, little C'est tout. Tu le joues. Honestly, I think the difference was they were actually fully staffed. Fully staffed? Well, I mean, that's kind of a rare thing to hear. There's like a fucking place that's staffed fully? Wow. There's an actual work site somewhere in this country that's fully staffed. That's impressive. Sonny sent me, but what, dude? What the fuck? Why? What the dude? That's like, don't be telling me about this. I don't want to know. Especially for someone as weird as that. Like, I mean, bruh. I like Stoney, I love him, but like, holy shit. It's just like, dude. Snap. Unsolicited. Dude. Like, I don't understand that. I can understand maybe sending, like, you know, something here and there. It's like, hey, check out this weird funny porn I found, lol. But, like, you know, I could get that. Like, because, I mean, fuck, I think I've done that to my friends before, where I'm just like, yo, I was cruising around, I saw this porn that's just absolutely hilarious, or something like that. You know, like, and share it to one of my friends privately or something. Like, I've done that before, but I usually kind of preface it being like, yo, I saw this funny, hilarious porn, you want to see it? And they'll either say yes or no. If they say yes, I send it. If no, I'm like, oh, okay, well, you're kind of missing out because this is funny. So, I mean, yeah, because it got any for me. I mean, well, dude, you know I have, like, a goddamn lexicon, bro. I have a fucking lexicon on that shit. Ask, you shall receive, basically. I mean, I'm basically like that when it comes to that shit, okay? So, yeah, duh. Where'd he go? Oh, it's over there. Probably hanging out. Crystal Fox or Lola Bunny? For me personally, Crystal Fox. But the real true OG Giga Chat answer is yes. For both. A three-way. There you go. Got a little bum bun action and a little Fox Vixen action. There you go. That's, I mean, but if you had to make me choose one or the other, Crystal Fox. But yes, just, you know, if it's either or, it's just simply yes. And before you ask, do I have a lot of Crystal Fox stuff? Yes, I do. Okay, so Fox McCloud might have something to say about that. Bruh, I'm making a concept music album that kills him and it makes him ascended into something different. Okay, so like if anything, I killed his ass. Just so he can, like, you know, just, like, ascend into something different, so. Speaking of which, I actually need to kind of like, yeah, write some more lyrics up and shit like that. I haven't done that in a minute. I've been thinking about like some other ideas about it, but I just haven't really put it down to paper. So I need to like, I need to get back in that groove, honestly. It's been a minute. Slippy Toad. Honestly, I am like, he's going to die within like the first like 2 songs, okay? Like that like dude, like no one likes him, okay? Like everyone, you know, he's a whiny bitch. He complains all the time. And yes, gets into trouble and is always like, yo, get this guy off my back. You know, and also shit. Nah, he's just gonna get murked, okay? He's not a part of my, concept, okay? he just gets croaked. Honestly, I'm mainly just keeping it to, as Falco Cam himself. Well, he's kind of like a more aggressive type of character. Like, he's kind of aggressive, you know, ambitious, and also like a very impulsive kind of reactionary type. And Peppy is like Do a Barrel Roll. Pepper. Well, the thing is, like, Pepper is the OG technically, because of James McLeod, Fox's son or father, like it was with him, Piper, and I think Pepper, or some shit like that. And James and Piper died, and Pepper was barely able to escape. At least this is the actual lore. And then after that, like, you know, Pepper basically reformed Star Fox by hiring his son and, you know, gathering Falco and everybody else. X-Game Anchor, Fox pulled out of the underworld. Yep. No, you're right. I mean, he wasn't like a full-on X-Game member because he was more kind of like a Robin Hood, like kind of rebel type of dude. But yeah, pretty much. I mean, Fox was too. Like, he was always kind of like, I mean, if you look at his backstory too, I mean, before he got called to, you know, join Star Fox, kind of like as an airship essentially from his dad, like, you know, he also was kind of doing like vagabond type of shit a little bit if you look at his backstory. So I mean, like, him and Falco were kind of in that same like boat a little bit. I mean, Fox probably had a little bit more of a like ethical, like moral compass back in it, but I mean, yeah, they both kind of came from it. I only played Star Fox 64, Star Fox Adventure, so I don't know a lot of lore. Well, I've only played Star Fox 64 as well, and honestly, a lot of the lore that I've been researching and stuff, you know, just from a music concept, I've been, you know, that's where I've actually learned a lot from it. Because, I mean, there's obviously a lot, you know, of general lore that you can kind of get, you know, just playing even Star Fox 64, you know, or Star Fox Adventure, stuff like that. But, like, I mean, you know, like, you're not really gonna get a lot of the deep lore until, like, you know, Star Fox Adventures or some of the later games. So, I mean, you know, like, unless you've played later games, you don't really, you know, have all of the lore. But the thing is, like, I mean, every game was always kind of a storytelling game in a way. Like, the first one, you know, was about the Liliat Wars, where, you know, Andros, you know, first became, you know, a madman scientist and tried to do, like, bioweapon crazy shit and literally Sarbomba the capital. Left a fat fucking crater and shit, and then they exiled him to the planet Venom after that, and that's where Star Fox 64 takes place. It's like 7 years later, and after that. Which I think is the second Liliat Wars. So the first 2 games are based off the first and second Liliat Wars, basically, if I remember correctly. Which I know the first half of the concept album I want to do is going to pretty much be that. Like, it's going, like, at least, like, the first, like, maybe, like, 4 or 5 songs I kind of have in mind. I want it to be kind of, like, around, like, that. And then after, like, the final boss battle 64, that's where I want to divert it. Because, I mean, even in the game, it kind of implies that, like, literal supernatural fucking phenomena had to take place in order for Fox to survive and live. Like, because for all intents and purposes, like, Andros trapped him in there and basically said, I'm gonna literally kill myself and you, and we're both gonna die now. Fuck you. Like, I mean, it was basically that. And, like, had this, like, you know, bomb that would go off when he dies, you know, so no matter what, if you defeated Andros, he would basically get blown up and killed. But literal, like, supernatural shit where his dad, like, came back and was like, yo, I'm gonna guide you out of here, you know, and that's what kind of caused him to live. So, I mean, in the last little bit of the basketball of the game, I mean, motherfuck, it's already got weird supernatural foo-foo going on to justify how he lived anyway. So, I think, you know, just flavor up that foo-foo a little bit, and now you got a totally new, like, you know, concept universe, you know, that I could play around with. And that's essentially is what I want to do. Like, you know, I want to take that and just kind of change up that, you know, little phenomenal thing that happens and just kind of make it into something a little bit more bigger where it's actually kind of like a longer term feud and shit where, like, you know, both of them don't necessarily die. You know, they both kind of come back. I mean, even technically, Andros, I think, comes back as, you know, a little bit. I think there's, like, some about that, but I haven't done all the research for the later part of the games. So go off. I don't think. Oh,
You're like online.
oh yeah, I'm just.
Oh, sorry.
Doing those streams. Oh, you're fine. Oh, well. Never got a clean one immediately off the bat, but
Oh, I think you'd have, you know.
yeah, but I also got last one too.
I think you'd have forks. Not bad. You want some of the salad?
Hmm?
You want some of the salad?
That would be okay. I actually also have one in the fridge myself.
Alright.
Good. Think that's all for you, huh, Zooks?
You want salad?
Well, I kind of make, not like full-on salads, but I'll mix, like, different, like, meats and put, like, little bits of cheese, stuff like that, you know, in his little food bowl and stuff with, like, rice and shit.
Oh, yeah? I was just chatting that person. Then it didn't chat. Then you some lettuce.
What's up? What's up? For Starfire's game, it was what? It was a GameCube one. They had a parasite creature similar to Halo's Flood in the game. It gets a little body horror-esque. Like, Paprika's is simulating a fox has to kill him towards the end of the game. Oh, I kind of remember what you're talking about, yeah. I think that was in Star Fox Adventures or some shit. I think it was on, like, that Dino Planet or whatever the fuck, if I remember correctly. From some of the, you know, research lore building thing I was looking up on.
Do you mind if I eat this real fast?
That's fine.
Want a carrot? You have a carrot?
Oh, yeah. There's carrots in the rice I feed him.
Like that?
So I don't know what that is. Too small.
If not.
The Star Fox Assault where it happens. Assault? Okay. I know it was one of the later games. Oh, goofy doggo. Because I know with like, cause like I said, I've only played like Adventures in 64, so I mean, there's not really too much, you know, that I know beyond those, but that's why I've done a little bit of a little research, you know, at least when it came to what I'm doing. Cause I already know that I'm like kind of getting a little like, you know, too imaginative already, because I'm starting to think about like, you know, ideas about where I can go with it, even though I haven't even like totally even like completely, you know, got anywhere close to like, you know, even 10% being done with like the first, you know, broader album concept. So it's just like I need to like take a step back or two. Adventures of the Dino Planet. Okay. I know. Well, like I do know that I want to at least like make kind of like a triptych almost, like, yeah, like 3 albums for it. And I kind of want it to be kind of built around like, you know, around like, you know, some of the things that you kind of get to see with later games. So like on Adventures, you know, like that would be kind of like concept album 2, where, you know, there's, you know, like different, you know, shit that would be going on in these type of planets basically, but, you know, just different stories essentially. I just haven't gotten to, you know, what those could be yet. Still, you know, kind of getting a general draft about like, you know, the first concept here. And a lot of it's just, you know, like just seeing the, you know, first 2 games and just looking at the basic lore of that and then just building it off from there. Made up an entire language for the dinosaurs. Yeah. Managed to learn how to speak a little as a kid. It's basically English without the R's. English without the R's. I mean, I forgot what it was like. I just know that they had their own language. What are you doing over there, Zukov? You little goober. Wow, he's ignoring me. Wow. What a little jerk. Get the tunes going. Yeah, I might as well see what's kind of going on for like news and stuff. See what little fun things I have for too. SoftX has a distinct lack of big titty goth girls. Well, because there's not really any gothic aesthetic. You can't really like, you can't really incorporate that. I mean, like, you basically have like a lot of various, like, depending on what planets you're on, like, I mean, there's pretty much like various different styles of like different, you know, like kind of adaptations really of just various different, like, you know, like ancient or indigenous style cultures and shit. And essentially, you know, like, you know, because I mean, like Crystal Fox, for example, she has like, you know, like what kind of looks like, you know, oceanic style, like tribal tattoos on top of, you know, what kind of looks like Egyptian style garb or something. So it's like a little blend of like various different styles of like cultures that are like mixed in. But I guess you could make it gothic, but there's just nothing else really there to get that in there, I guess. Just make Crystal have a bad day dressed in black. Well, the thing is, Crystal is capable of having bad days. Like, she, you know, the lore about her is that she's actually a capable fucking fighter. Like, the staff that she has, like, she can whoop ass of that. So, I mean, technically, I mean, if anything, like, you know, she, you know, is capable of having bad days and fucking shit up. Her Fox stayed for a bit before breaking up with the lore. Yep. Didn't they have like an off and on relationship a little bit? I thought that happened at least like 1 or 2 times. Or at least, you know, like 2 or 3 times. Happened after Adventures and off and on during Assault, and I don't know after that. Yeah, because I know at least in Adventures, like, it was like, you know, after all that. Was it kind of like implied, I think? I don't exactly remember too much. Fox rolls over in Adventure 7 meter for the first time. Yeah. He's just like, oh my god. Smacks him upon the side of the head for being horny. Well, yeah, pretty much. I remember that. Which is definitely pretty funny. It's like, Fox, you bastard. Because I think canonically, like, at that time, he's pretty much, like, my age. Like, I think in the, like, timeline in, like, 64, he's, like, in his early 20s, and then, by the time it's in, like, Star Fox Adventures, like, I mean, like, I think he's about, like, 26 or 27 or something like that. Like, 3 or 4 years later. So he, like, canonically actually does, like, mature and get older, you know, as the games go on. There's also been times where him and Wolf have actually, if, you know, like, McCloud and McDougal, or have actually, if, like, straight up, you know, have, like, teamed up for a little bit. Which is actually kind of surprising. But this is literally basically just due to, like, enemy of my enemy is my friend shit. Forgot the Wolf guy's name. His name is like Wolf McDougal or something like that. Or Wolf McDonald or some shit. And by the way, yes, you are right. I love how Zukup just closes off that entire launch room. What a goober. I know you had evil versions of others. Well, no, there was like Panther, and there was like 3 others, but like over the course of, I think in 64, you kill them off. Or, you know, capture them, or whatever the fuck. So, yeah, at the end, I think he ends up being the only one. And having like some sort of like secret, like, hideaway, you know, for like criminals and vagabonds and shit like that, where he kind of like rebuilds it, or something. If I remember correctly. It's something like that. So, it's really not much. It's really just the news day has been that slow. I know Onion Nuggets is going to be later.
Who are you going to see?
Hmm?
Who are you going to see?
Beast in Black. With, their opening, well, they're, the headliner, and, Dance with the Dead is, opening with them. Which I haven't heard them before, so.
I've heard the name, but I've never heard them.
Yeah, I've been kind of following Beast in Black for a while, because the founder, Anton, used to be part of Battle Beast, which I've seen them live once before. No, actually their first North American tour, and then but that was like after Anton left, and from my understanding, like over like disagreements about like the creative path for the band initially, so he decided just say fuck and do his own thing, and then so now there's like basically like two different bands, Battle Beast, and then there's Beast in Black, but Beast, and that happened back in like 2015, and I think this is going to be like their second North American tour, if I remember, because it's their like back in North America tour. So I'm assuming it will be their second time. It's going to be at the Star Theater, which I've never been at before, which is right across from the Roseland. I've seen like a lot of shows over there, like, and people lined up for concerts over there, but I've just never had a show there myself. So it'll be a new venue.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I remember wrong, Bruce, or Cat Pilot shows us sometimes. Yeah, that's Panther. Like in Star Wolf, there's Panther. Lieutenant Panther or something like that.
You know what time it is?
It's a 4:58, basically like 2 till 5.
Yeah, that's one. I got a free laundry thing. Going. I mean, can I hear? Is it okay to wait for you?
What was that?
When I come back to meet you to get my bedding and stuff.
Alright.
If you're not here, can I wait for you?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Or should I wait up in the store or something?
Yeah. Yeah, because I'll likely come back up from that way. Because I'll take the Max, but probably go back to Milwaukee specifically, so.
Okay. I'm soaked.
After that, like, after it was pouring earlier, like, I'm wearing a few layers and I'm soaked, so I could feel the wetness, like, underneath, like, 2 shirts and this. It's like, what the fuck? Honestly, I'm gonna say fuck it and, like, change out a little bit before I leave, that's for sure. Just because, like, I was gonna wear these pants, but, I mean, they're really wet now, so I'm just like, you know what, fuck it, I'll just grab one of my, like, not super dirty black pants or something. Because, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, it wasn't raining too bad, and I don't hear it raining too bad anymore, but oh my god, it, like, got slammed when I started walking back to grab my coffee. It just, like, really came in. It's like, motherfucker, dude. Oh, here. Is the second Republican debate tonight? Yep, and I don't give a fuck. Because honestly, I mean, I'll just react to it tomorrow. Like, I mean, I'm going to a show. Like, I could give a fuck less about that. If I had nothing going on today, then that would be our moment of exciting, our excitement. But no, like when I come back tonight, I'm not gonna fucking talk about it. I forget, like, I mean, unless there's something that's just, like, tangentially mentioned or someone sends me a clip or something. Like, I mean, but beyond that, I am not gonna fuck with it. I don't care. I will tomorrow. I'll conjure a fuck to give tomorrow. I know Onion Nuggets is gonna be live. They should actually be live here pretty soon. Might send clips if anything funny happens. Oh, I'm sure there's gonna be some funny shit. Like, I mean, I definitely want to check out at least maybe a little bit of it. I just don't have the energy to conjure a fuck right now. I'll do that like some other time, which would be tomorrow. Man, even my hat's all like soaked up. What the fuck? Oh, I got a notification. I know this is now live. I'll wait for the song to end though, so they can wait. Besides, they're gonna be like going on for like an hour bantering anyway. I know how they operate. There better be a mosh pit tonight. I'm just gonna put that out there. I'm not asking for hardcore mosh pits, because, I mean, given the music style, there ain't going to be hardcore mosh pitting, but I'm hoping there's at least kind of like a moshy dance pit of some sort. Cause, you know, that'd be nice. I should go back in time to the pits of the 80s. If I could, I would. Where you might get tire ironed. Like I said, if I could, I would. Because I would, like, if someone tried to tire iron me in the pit, they're not gonna have a skull anymore. I will drink from your skirt. It's basically just how I do that. It's just like, I shall drink from your skirt. Just a good old like, and just like, the pits that I went to were heavy metal early pits where shit could and did happen. Well, the thing is, like, I mean, it's like I would be in those type of pits too. But the thing is, like it did also kind of depend on, you know, like these shows too, because like. Mosh pit and slam dancing and skanking and all that, like, it was kind of like diverse in a way, like, depending on what scene you're in. Even in metal scenes, it, you know, varied in severity. Like, and obviously, you know, with your dad, he went to heavier shows and thus crazier shit happens, you know, but like, I mean, before Mosh pit, well, the thing is, like, there kind of was, but it was way more laissez-faire and not really, like, collectively unified on. Like, I mean, that was kind of the problem. That's why you had motherfuckers who didn't give a shit, you know, who were literally willing to hurt people, you know, for the sake of it. Which, luckily, nowadays isn't really a thing unless you go to, like, underground shows that are really fucking intense, which don't really happen that much anymore anyway. It's not like they don't, but it's pretty fucking rare that they do these days. And, you know, and I've been to my fair share of some pretty intense shows, and, like, seeing someone take a wallet chain out and, like, use that to, like, whip people with and stuff, like, so I've seen some crazy shit before, but usually, because of this etiquette that is kind of more unified, agreed on, those people get their fucking ass beat, because I've seen that pretty much damn near every time someone does shit like that. The underground scene was intense back then? Oh, absolutely. Because you have to also imagine a lot of that type of shit was word of mouth. So you could only really, like, like, experience these things just for word of mouth of the community, or just, like, posters and shit. And, you know, and because there wasn't really, like, kind of like a social media platform where you could kind of get a gist of people because you could kind of see their account or something like that. You're like, oh yeah, these people are going to show up, huh, look at them, they're pretty cool. You know, whatever the fuck, you know, it's like, you could kind of, there's, like, way less of this, like, understanding of, like, who's going and not and this and that. Like, because, I mean, you know, at that point, it pretty much is a little bit more, like, kind of a mystery about what can happen and who might be there. You know, so it's, you know, it just was totally a different scene for sure. I mean, you know, it's like, it definitely, in a way, probably would be surreal, but probably would just be, you know, if anything, not really that much, you know, when it comes to, like, you know, or at least not that much different besides just certain elements of the intensity. Like what you're talking about. We truly live in wussified times. Yeah, I mean, yeah, a little bit. Just a little bit. I mean, I think there should be a balance. Like, I mean, I don't think, you know, we need to, like, go utterly depussified, but there definitely is certain things we could just, like, depussify on. I mean, so I think we could find a balance, you know, when it comes to that. Like, certain things we should probably, like, take precautions with, but other things, like, can we just stop being bitches with? You know what I mean? Like, so, like, yeah, I'd certainly agree at the end of the day. Like, we definitely need to, like, depussify ourselves as a society. Mostly Americans, honestly. Like, I mean, we need to just, like, quit being pussies and weird fucking prudes and shit. Oh, shit, TJ isn't even here? Damn, TJ is fucking out with the cold, dude. He is fucking knocked out. Oh, we got Dynor. Dino.
Just like you watch a fucking giant pandemic sweep across the nation. Watch 1 million people die gasping for air in a fucking hospital and shit, and it's still
Worldwide, yeah.
LMAO, what?
It's
Yeah,
still a
if it doesn't work,
thing.
I don't know what's going to do. So
Yeah, long COVID seems to be worse than death in most cases. I don't know about that, but
Yeah, okay, that person seems a little hyperbolic. I've heard people have gotten over long COVID at this point. Like, there was, a while where I think people weren't sure if it was permanent or not, but there are people that have, like, had their long COVID symptoms wear off over time. I mean, it's long COVID, so obviously they're going to last a while, but, eventually, like, after about, like, a year, give or take, sometimes, months at a time, like, eventually some people do eventually recover. I think, it depends on the person, because there are people still being, affected by long COVID and shit, but, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's kind of more accurate to say it's like, yeah, like, you can at least over time recover from that. It's just, a question mark about, like, when you do.
I mean, death is kind of a final thing, but I get what you're saying. I mean, the agony that some people are going to experience for years on end.
it definitely reduces quality of life for a lot of people, for sure.
Yeah.
God, yeah.
For all I know, I have long COVID, because I'm telling you, dude, I got fucking sick after a trip when I went up to fucking Washington State. I got sick, and I was sick for like a fucking week with a cough and shit. We took a bunch of COVID, like home COVID tests or whatever, and none of them ever popped positive. But I swear to God, dude, I have not been quite the same since then. I feel like I deal with like more brain fog than I'm used to.
Honestly, I feel like Paul might be right, because, I mean, I don't think, Zukov, hey, what are you doing? Like, because I don't think, I might have, but honestly, there's probably there's probably a element where I might have just never known, because there is, like, a feeling of that, kind of vibe and understand. Zukov, what you doing, boy?
Just standing there.
Yeah.
Oh, Jimmy, come on. Alright, I'll see you later.
Alright. Goofy little doggo. There you go. Well, now you have to kind of move. Move, you big butt. You're in the way. Now you're doing what you do to Dad. Come on. You little butt. Okay, got on my foot. Got mad when I stepped on his tail. Well, don't step on his tail.
Like, after that illness, I became super sensitive to weed. Like, getting real fucking, like, too high for really easily. It's all kinds
That's
of shit.
surprising, because, dude, I mean, I can attest to this. I've seen Paul smoke copious amounts of weed in every form and take it in every form. And, like, I would definitely be me or TJ, whoever was there, would almost always be like, I'm good. And Paul would be like, I'm
just like, I'm not. Let's keep going, boy. Dude, I'm the same way. I mean, I'm still like that, honestly. So, I mean, Zuka, y'all shut the hell up. But, so I don't feel that, at least. So, I mean, I don't even really feel brain fog any of that shit anymore. I just know that, like, I mean, there is probably a possibility that, I might have at one point and have had some of these symptoms and just not have known whatsoever. So, I mean, honestly, I feel like there is a lot of people that probably have had COVID and long COVID and just never have known. And that's, with these people, me included, probably, generally taking precautions and doing what they can to make sure that they stay safe. And, but at the end of the day, it's like, you could do so much, and yet, it's like, you still might potentially, get it. Which sucks, it's shitty, but, it's like sometimes it's just a roll the dice, you know what I mean? I got lucky I didn't get long COVID, thank goodness for the shot. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think, the reason why, if I might have had COVID in the past, because I'm willing to grant the possibility. I think I didn't, but I'll grant the possibility I probably have at one point. I just never have known. And because I've, been vaccinated and boosted, and I need to, I've mentioned it before, but I actually really need to fucking, get a time schedule to get my flu and, booster shot for that as well, or at least the updated vaccine and all that. But like, so like at least for me, it's just like like if I might have gotten it, including even long COVID, at least whatever symptoms I did have, they were mild to equivalent of like cold symptoms or like very minor flu-like symptoms, and whatever long COVID symptoms I might have had didn't last that long. Which I think also shows the effectiveness of a vaccine, because even if you do get sick, like how you get sick is going to be far less severe in comparison if you weren't vaccinated. Shocker, because your body is able to at least have more knowledge and information to be able to combat it, and thus you don't get fucked up from it as much. Because the idea of a vaccination is not like meant to be like a literal cure-all and you'll never ever get it ever. The idea is that it minimalizes the chance of you getting it to the maximum percentage possible. So, like, that's why there's an effective rate. Like, that's why, usually when it comes to vaccines, having something that's like about 70 to 80% effective rate or higher is usually what gets, out to the commercial public, because that has a very high effective rate, and the likelihood of you potentially getting sick will be very low. That's the point. That doesn't mean that you're never going to get sick from it ever. That just means that, like, the likelihood of you get sick is reduced immensely. And that's good. That's why they exist.
That's surprising. Yeah, like, that's surprising to me to hear you say that. We're like, that would creep up on you? Because that's definitely more like a Scotty thing. Like, oh, I'm dying, guys, I'm dying, please.
Paul, it's not long COVID, you're just old. I mean, but I just...
Oh my god, what an asshole.
Me getting old happened to coincide with me getting really sick. And then after that, all the age-related shit kicked in. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Who knows, though?
I mean, yeah, there's no way. I mean,
the shots weren't a cure; they're a reducer. Yeah, and honestly, I bet you, at least in some part, why so much anti-vax information, disinformation gets out there, is because there's this basically dumb ape mentality of just like, oh, it literally cures things, when that's not really the case. So it's just like, bruh, it's like, what the fuck.
I mean, obviously, I guess you could like test it for antibodies and stuff and see if you got the COVID antibodies present. But I mean, who knows? It's just that's the kind of world we live in now. And I mean, obviously, there could be other things going on. But yeah, I mean, it's like anything else. If you notice a pattern, I mean, your body better than anyone else. You know what your experience is like better than anyone else can tell you. So if you feel it's a noticeable change, then that's something obviously I guess to be concerned with. I mean, I don't think anyone else.
How much longer are you gonna go?
It's not.
The doors are opening, I think, around like 7:30 or 7 because the show starts at 8, so probably around 6 or something.
Whatever.
Yeah. We demand TJ. I mean, you can demand him all you want.
Dude, TJ's sick. Like, what are these people dumb? Like, oh my god.
Yeah, TJ's sick as a fucking dog. What do you want him to do?
TJ is rot. Dude, guys, I mean, TJ, look, he's,
Like, do they want him to look like a zombie just being there, like... yeah, that sucks, yeah. Yeah, it sucks, yeah, whatever, yeah. Like, do they really want that in the background all the time? Like, while they're doing their show, like, for fucking real?
Feeling well. I talked to him, I mean...
Zombie TJ. I mean, for real, though, I mean, he is sick as a dog right now. He did his Abandoned Hope on Sunday, sick as fuck, and he's like, if I can at least muster some energy and see how I feel later, I'll do the show. If not, fuck it. I'll just, sit it out and, muster my energy for, the gauntlet. So that's kind of what they're doing. Paul, was feeling under the weather because he got his COVID booster, which is why they were talking about that. And, so he wanted to, give a day to kind of recover from that. So... that's why they postponed the show today, and obviously TJ is still not feeling better, or if he is, he's still so sick that he can't really do a show. What gauntlet is it this time? British, people. Everything British. Like, the patriotic, like, revolutionary fervor of the nationalistic American inside you will be, glowing with red glares, dude. Like, bombs bursted in air, bro. Like, we're about to go revolutionary status on those fucking Brits.
Big cough or whatever, but he's not here. I mean, if you look, you can choose to believe TJ, which I don't, or you can believe and take it on board and say he's sick and he's not here. So,
do you think TJ got the COVID?
Well, he claims he was tested and it was negative.
Got it.
He was tested for strep, flu, COVID. That's all negative. You know, I'm suspicious though. I mean, look, TJ's always been a guy that anytime you go sniffle, you know, he wants to take a month off. But I'll tell you, there is one time I know TJ did that though. One time, like, we're living in Ohio, and TJ had the flu for like 2 fucking weeks. And I'm like, dude, I get that you can get sick and all that. I'm like, but TJ, I think, you know, like, you got videos and shit to make. Oh, I'm sick. And I'm like, you're milking this, TJ.
I mean, dude, when I was living with you guys in Washington, we were doing DP. There were times where, you know, TJ didn't show up for the show because he was sick. And then I'd go home. Like, I'd go back to you guys' place afterwards and stay up all night smoking and joking with TJ. You know what I mean?
Because TJ's fine.
I think that, that's definitely a different time period, though. But, I mean, like, you know, TJ definitely has done it, of course. I mean, like...
I think TJ's honestly not playing it up. I mean, like, I saw him on Abandoned Hope on Sunday. He definitely was pretty sick.
That's why I never tell anyone I'm sick. I mean, I gotta be really fucking sick for me, because, you know, that to me is like...
That is true, honestly, about Scotty. There was literally one time where they were doing... It was way back when they were still all doing their, like, in-studio shows. And there was at one point, I forgot what episode, but, it was, you know, but Scotty was just literally sitting there, like... literally looking like this the entire time, just for like you know, for the first like half an hour to 40 minutes of the show he was fine, but out of nowhere he just like, and then he just kind of like started doing this a little bit, and he's like, hold on, I'm gonna go to the bathroom really quick. You know, it's like, I'm sorry guys, hold on, I need to go to the bathroom. He just like immediately out of nowhere just like ran off and dipped. And then he came back. It's like, look, I'm sorry, guys. I just kind of puked. I'm really starting to feel bad. I'm sorry, guys. Like, he just out of nowhere is like, look, I don't normally, you know, do this, but I gotta, like, you know, go back home. I'm not feeling good, blah, blah. Like, he was, like, he, like, out, like, within, like, a 20-minute time span, he went from, like, you know, just kind of being himself to, like, and just, like, and you can kind of slowly see it, like, where he's like, just out of nowhere not looking good. It's like, oh, damn, poor Scotty. But, yeah, that is true about him, though. Like, he... like will move forward and push forward with whatever the fuck is going on with him and not give a shit.
I don't even want to say it unless I'm fucking like hugging a toilet or some shit. Not as like some like raw like manly man thing.
I remember you just like puking, getting up to puke during the show one time.
Yeah, Paul knows.
Like, yeah, dude, that's what times I had to tap. Like I fucking threw up a banana smoothie.
Oh,
like I can't do this anymore. Like my stomach. Dude, that was horrible. Dude, that was like one of the worst times I've ever gotten sick in my fucking life. It was so short, but it was just like, brutal. I did that. I threw up.
Dude, I know what he's feeling, because I did this when I was at work once, funny enough. Like, I went on a break, and I was like, here, I'll eat a chicken tendy really quick, you know, as a snack. But there was, like, and I actually remember what the fuck it was, too. Like, there was, like, a little bit of the breading that didn't totally cook all the way through yet. And it was still kind of like soft and raw, and I thought, you know, it must be a little mushy, whatever. I ripped the part out, but I still had like enough of it, you know, like that I ate, that like it's like literally within a few minutes after that, I just went, oh fuck. And I was like sitting here like, oh shit, I need to get back to work, but oh fuck. And I just went, okay, I'm just gonna like, you know, force my way back up there and just like, you know, try to see if I could push forward with this. And I went back into the like little corner office where there was a fucking you know, like garbage can there, and like as soon as I walked back there, I just went immediately and just like, for whatever I had that morning to that chicken tendy to everything, just like everywhere. And I just like did that for a sec. I kind of sat there. I'm like, okay, I'm starting to feel way better now, but oh my god, like holy shit, I might need to like take a nap or something. And then I kind of went back outside, just kind of, you know, winded as fuck. And my coworker was like, dude, you look like shit, bro. Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I had to puke back there. I ate a little tendy. I think there's a little breading that was a little raw, and I, you know, fucked me up there for a second. It's like, yo, if you need to go home, dude, you know, I'll handle it. We'll close this shit up early. And our Wingo, one of our China chefs, he came out, he noticed it too. He's like, yo, you look like shit. You should probably go home. Like, they were like trying to encourage me to go home. It's like, I was like, all right, you know what? Yeah, you know, probably be good for me to kind of rest it off a little bit. You know, if I feel better by, you know, like, and y'all still here, maybe I'll come back or something. And And they're just like, nah, don't worry about it. Like, we'll let, the people up front know and let a manager know at least. So, they don't wonder what the fuck happened or some shit. So, I mean, like, my ass is covered on that. But, like, it's basically a Scotty situation, essentially, like, where it's like, out of nowhere, you're just like, oh, fuck. And you just have to, like, and me too, I'm usually kind of the one that's like, even if I'm a little under the weather, like, I'm like, all right, I'll just kind of like suck it up a little bit, just get some water and, just have a little something soft and light to eat, when I'm at work, when it's a slow period and stuff. And usually after that, I feel fine. But, like, sometimes, like, you get so fucked up, you just gotta tap.
I went home. I was literally like crying and fucking like, I'm watching these movies, dude. And I'm about movies. Like, although I was watching.
What the hell?
I was like crying. Like, oh my god.
He gets emotional about movies when he's sick.
Okay. I want him to get out of this hell. Like, it applied to me too, because I felt like I was in such fucking stomach pain. My stomach was just, it felt so bad. Obviously, it was like me just like putting myself into that. Like, I want this agony to fucking end. It wasn't the best movie to watch, but I mean, it does have a happy ending in a sense. So
It does.
yeah, so I did feel better by the end of it.
Paul, I've been having pretty bad anxiety. Appreciate the therapy session you did 1 or 2 episodes ago. Thank you kindly. Yeah, sure. You're welcome. I mean, I try not to fucking roll that shit out every goddamn episode. But yeah, dude, when you struggle with shit, it affects every little angle of your life for sure.
Dude, I'll tell you what, man. Like, it is so common to have those kind of feelings. I think people a lot of times think that's like unusual or strange. Oh, I'm anxious or this or that. And like,
It really isn't.
I mean, it's just a lot of people are just hiding it or pretending it doesn't exist or whatever. I mean, obviously, I'm sure there's some people that don't give a shit and they're fine, but a lot of
if anything, that's probably just denial, on those people's part.
people experience that shit.
Yeah, for sure.
I like how just
I think
Dino is
my-
just piercing our fucking souls with those eyes.
No, was made, stay on the COVID topic. I think, like, the whole COVID lockdowns and shit, I think that fucking set me off in a big way. Like, made my anxiety worse. For sure. I think a lot of people are in that boat as well.
Oh god, yeah, dude. I mean,
Yeah, I guess a little bit.
just, I think people's faith in like institutions and stuff like that. I think it's also the way people look at death, the way people look at life.
I feel like DFF is a logical evolution of DP. Ben cleans to the past with DFF boys and moved on. I mean, I think that's just kind of the reality of it, in a way, isn't it? I mean, like, and, I don't really have any problem with DP at this point, as far as I give a shit, whatever. I mean, if anything, the guys are the same way about it. They're at this point, they're their own shows. But, it's like, and if anything, that's kind of the reason why the split happened. Is because, these, these three, the trio, they wanted to kind of move on and try to, like, kind of make something a little bit more of the show, basically. And Ben was just like, nah, we must attain to our audience and get what they want. It's like, sometimes they don't, like, I mean, they've had this principle. Sometimes the audience doesn't know what they want. So that was the original concept of DFF. It's like every topic is like something new and something different and all this other shit. I mean, and it's, I think, always been like that. I mean, hence why, even now it's like kind of evolved into Onion Nuggets, basically. I still basically call it DFF, because that's basically the whole broader property. I mean, they just have, these different little shows like Onion Nuggets that are just a part of that.
I mean, a lot of people, it changed to where people were moving in the country. A lot of people started moving out to like these rural areas and like, I gotta get away from people. There's a lot of social breakdown due to COVID. Like, a lot of people, like, I think there's almost been like a launch in like narcissism, which is a lot attributed to a lot of the stuff where there's like negative antisocial type behaviors that are becoming
maybe
common with people. And I mean, I don't think it's a majority of people, but I mean, I think it's 15-20% of people, and in some areas even higher. We have an epidemic of like very self-important, self-centered fucks. Because like,
I agree with that.
One of the places you see it a lot is like if you're in a car and you're driving somewhere. So people just merge suddenly in traffic, and almost like hit people in front of them, almost like cause a collision behind them. You have to kind of think it's like,
I see that shit just driving around or walking around now. Like, like, damn, like there's a lot of that shit that I see, just all my daily life.
if I'm the one driving that car, even if I have, like, I'm completely oblivious and self-centered.
That's not to say Ben and Billy can't produce good content. They've had some interesting guests since the boys left. Yeah, that's why I don't really have an issue with DP. I mean, honestly, there's been times where I've, checked out DP, because there might be a guest I recognize or something like that. Just, because why not? It's like, hey, Mike from the Human Support, for example, or, like David Dole, and those aren't the only people, I mean, sometimes they will actually, pop off of some, interesting stuff, but, I mean, that's kind of the thing. Like, I kind of check them out again when they branch off from the usual status quo of what they do. Like, I mean, and even then, they don't really branch off that hard, but at least there's a little something, where I can kind of be a little more interested in.
Like, don't you want to...
And usually at that point, the show's more pertained at least around what the guests might be interested. Like, if it's Mike, they're probably going to look at more, like, Chud Watch stuff, basically, or like, some news, shit, and maybe the occasional meme here and there, but, not like so much, like the fucking, like, Chris Chance shit or Brett Keane or whatever, like, because someone like Mike ain't gonna give a fuck about that,
like, doesn't that, like, self-preservation kick in?
Yeah.
But you don't see it, and I mean, like, I think we saw a lot of that, too, with, like, public freakouts becoming a big thing. And I'm not saying people didn't freak out. When I was a kid, I definitely saw people go to places and fucking get pissed off at poor retail workers, and you're like, you fucking burned my fucking grilled cheese sandwich, you fucking should die, you should be roasted alive. That shit happened, but it happens a lot more. And obviously, we have the way of capturing it with people. I mean, everyone's got a fucking cell phone or some sort of recording device, and stores have high definition. But it seems like it's an increasingly common way where people have, like, a very little in the ability of coping. They can't, like, cope with shit, so when shit goes wrong, people lose their fucking minds, as it's going to help them. And, I mean, we see it generally doesn't.
Yeah. For sure.
Where is TJ? TJ is dead. No, TJ's sick. Fucking sick. That's what he says. That's what he tells me and Paul. I mean,
I love how they're, like, people are still asking about that. It's like, what the hell? Oh shit, whoa, what's going on here? We got a weirdo. We got a weird pastor-looking weirdo. What's happening, y'all?
You gotta love being and
What a piece of shit. Alright, there we go.
Worst line in movie history.
Saved. Yeah.
Oh, I saw this. I saw this the other day. It was recommended by YouTube, the algorithm, dude.
Let's hear it.
So I figured it out. Why hot dogs come in packages of 10 and hot dog buns come in packages of 8. See, the thing is that life doesn't always work out according to plan. So be happy with what you got. So you can always get a hot dog.
The best line in movie history, bro. The greatest line of movie history, dude.
because I think that the next thing that old dude should be doing is slapping the shit out of her for saying something so fucking stupid.
I mean, I don't even know what, like, wow. I mean, it's just so absurd. It's like, I mean, how in the fuck? Like, it's just, do you get to be like, oh, yeah, sometimes life doesn't work out the way it is, but you know what? You still get a hot dog. It's like, what?
Jet Li?
Was it? No, it wasn't.
My hot dogs.
What movie is this from?
I don't know. I was starting to look into that, but I was like, I don't want to know.
Dude, I think this is Jet Li in old man makeup.
Is it? Look closer.
Now I gotta fucking find out. Let's see if the comments tell
Well,
us.
it's Stifler. So it's Stifler and Jet Li, potentially.
Yeah.
God, I feel bad for him. I mean, like, dude, I think someone even said in the comment, it was like, he should win an Academy Award for just being able to fucking deliver that line without breaking down laughing.
This is no shit, dude.
What movie is this? It's Chow Yun Fat? Oh, okay.
Chow Yun Fat? What the fuck?
That tracks.
I guess it's Chow Yun Fat.
The dude from, the only if I remember seeing him in is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I remember him being in that movie. That's a pretty cool movie.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, dude. That is a pretty bad one.
What are you talking about? Best line
It's
in
the
movie
worst
history.
In movie history, it's definitely a contender. It's up there for sure.
Dude, I'll tell you what too. I mean, when you do a line that bad, that, like, I know the writers and stuff, they just ended their strike and they're making a deal, but I mean, I don't know, dude. Maybe we were too nice to those writers. If they get away with shit like this,
If this is what has
Yeah.
to exist,
maybe
then
we're too generous with those motherfuckers. Like maybe Hollywood kept them on a short leash for a reason. You see fucking
Yeah.
dog shit on the wrist. I mean, this looks like this.
yeah, I mean, because obviously it's not the opposite, where it's like maybe them being on a short leash is probably what created something like this.
$1 million movie, and deliver a line like fucking that shit. I figured out why there's more fucking hot dog buns or hot dogs in a fucking pack. And I'm like, dude, what are you fucking talking about?
So I figured it out. Why hot dogs come in packages of 10 and hot dog buns come in packages of 8.
That was inflation, bro.
No shit.
I doesn't always work out according to plan. So
So you need to look at a package of hot dogs and hot dog buns to figure that out. It doesn't always go according to fucking plan. That was the big moment.
Sometimes life just don't go according to plan because you get it, hot dogs of 10 and then you get a package of buns that are in a package of 8. Just don't work out sometimes, but you know what? You get a fucking hot dog though.
That's Bulletproof Monk, a $52 million budget on this movie. Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
Oh, dude, okay, I fucking remember this movie. It's a dog turd. Yeah, dude, I think this is like when Stifler had his moment in the sun.
Ugh.
I mean, I think Stifler had his moment in the sun when he was Stifler.
No, I mean when they foolish like started casting him and other shit. So like,
Oh yeah, they were like, yeah, it's time to take you out of American Pie and make you a mainstream movie star. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
This is a really
Probably shouldn't have happened.
Fucking totally. This is. I blanked on it, but yeah, I can actually remember this now. I don't remember like this getting audible groans when I heard it, but I do remember it being a really awful line. And
I mean, like, why would like anyone think that line was good? Like, was there no one that like kind of proofread that and was like, maybe we should go back on drawing board with this particular line here. We should change that up a little bit. Like, no one thought about that. Like, this got passed down like through the entire like process up to actually acting the fucking scene out, and no one thought to maybe change it up a little bit.
This came out like the early 2000s.
Yeah,
I believe.
This is dog shit. This is dog shit for sure. I saw
It'd be a duty.
I saw a good movie last night.
Oh, what'd you say?
Have you seen Talk to Me?
I think I've heard of that movie.
Came out this year. Australian A24 horror movie.
Sounds okay. No, I've heard it, but I have not seen it.
Yeah, I think I've heard of it.
It's worth checking out. It actually scratched my Evil Dead itch way better than Evil Dead Rise did. It feels more like an Evil Dead movie than Evil Dead Rise did to me. It was really good.
Isn't Trump gonna talk to Scabs during debate? Yeah, there's like, he's doing like a stupid PR thing. He probably already did it. I mean, if anything. Like, I mean, I know he's gonna do this stupid little like, talk with, like, non-union workers as Scabs and shit, and then fucking, go talk to, like a bunch of fucking other bullshit after that, I'm assuming. And then, of course, the debates are happening, so. Which, honestly, I kind of find it funny that Trump is basically, doing these very specific little events, while the debates are actually happening as an attempt to try to, like, steal their fucking, like, views.
Goddamn disgrace.
Yeah.
Let's jump up ahead.
They're not twerking at the
Twerking. Wait, what's going on here? So we jumped to an article. What's going on here? Oh, shizzles. Jumped a little too far ahead. Oh. Federal judge declares Texas drag law unconstitutional. I have a conundrum for you. What's better than the devil you don't know? The one you... That's not a conundrum.
Judge declares Texas drag law unconstitutional. Shocking. Shocking that making a law for how you can dress is unconstitutional. I don't know where they got
I mean, wow. I wonder where they got that from.
Yeah, what about the kids?
What about those damn children, dude?
Behind these drag queens here, there's some children.
There's a bunch of children.
Oh, yeah, there's one right there. Oh, shit. Think about this child. Think about this damn child.
Thanks.
This is legitimate grooming that's happening right here in front of our eyes. On this.
Look how young the kid, especially that girl. I'm assuming it's a girl. Obviously, you can assume, but she looks like she's being completely brainwashed by these drag queens, and they're actually leading this procession.
Yep.
Excuse me.
They're leading this group of children and their deluded parents straight to the mouth of hell, Scotty.
Yep, they're gonna literally sacrifice them and, sacrifice their hearts and, drop them into the mouth of hell where, Satan will torture them for all of eternity.
I mean, where else would they take them? I think it's to get surgery to change their gender.
Yep.
Wow. Oh.
They're walking them to the gender.
These fucking liberal communists.
Their genitals mutilated.
These evil liberal communists.
Dude, if we captured that and put that on Facebook and said that, how many people would believe us?
Huge. It'd be huge.
A lot of people, unironically, probably.
How many fucking people?
I mean, the fucking urge to grift, especially at this time when people are so credulous and stupid, is just super strong for me.
It kind of is a little bit. I kind of feel that.
Money if we just started fucking grifting.
Oh god, I'm sure we'd be millionaires if we did it.
All we'd have to do is just coordinate a how we left the left thing and start fucking...
Pretty much.
Making fucking pearl clutching posts about trans people.
That's pretty much it. Like, I mean, even I could easily do it. It's like, you know what? I was groomed, indoctrinated. Because I thought, part of the labor worker man was, to, be woke as fuck. But then I opened my eyes, saw the light of God. Like, I mean, my God, dude. I mean, it would be so easy.
Contact Ben Shapiro and be like, look, want to come on your show? Mea culpa and beg for your forgiveness. And please add us to the Daily Wire roster, please.
Yeah. Federal judge on
Ignores woke a fuck. That is true.
That LGBTQ advocates feared would be.
I mean, because I'm so woke, I mean, it would be impossible, I think. Just especially for how consistent I've been on it. So.
Drag shows in the state and in prison performers.
I guess I'm small enough to get away with it.
Republican Governor Greg Abbott signed in June expanded existing state law to prevent children from exposure to sexually explicit performances. While the legislation, Senate Bill 12, does not cite drag specifically, drag performers feared that it was passed with the intention of criminalizing the art form, which is deep ties to the LGBTQ community.
Because that's exactly what it's for.
Expression. Clearly, that's why it was written.
Yeah. The law was written specifically just to do that.
Drag. There are, I'm sure, drag shows that are racy and sexual in nature, but a lot of them are just drag queens singing and dancing and stuff, and I don't see how that's sexually explicit.
Because it isn't.
I mean, a lot of drag shows are held at bars and places too, where kids don't even go anyways. But even if you did, like,
and even then, it's just like one of those things where it's just like, I mean, a lot of even though there are at bars and like 21 and over venues and shit, like a lot of it is, for the most part, just still platonic, shows. I mean, there's nothing like inherently sexual going on in those either, unless it's like a full on like kind of like, kink bar or something.
Story hour or some shit. I mean, it's really just
they're not like shaking their ass. They're not twerking at the drag queen story hour. You know what I mean?
All those things really do and represent is just normalizing things like that to people and just showing that there's people who are different. And that's not really a scary thing or a bad thing, but it somehow becomes like they're trying
this whole fucking like scaremonger thing.
Kids really getting groomed.
Just on the virtue of just because like people are really eccentric. I mean, that's really what it is about. Like, I mean, fundamentally, what these things are about is just to normalize the fact that like people are more expressive and different. When it comes to like how they want to live their lives and shit, and and having that around is a way to help kind of show people. It's like, hey, like even if it ain't totally your thing or whatever the fuck, I mean, like to a total level, at least there's more of an exposure to where even if you don't see it as your thing, there can at least be appreciation of the fact that there are people that are different. So
the top plays are in churches, 100%. I'm about grooming kids. That's the spot.
Every time.
Even if people like Christians want to challenge that and say, that's not true. How many people? Just look at how many pastors, how many fucking clergy members have been busted for molesting kids over the last 10 years. I'll wait.
Or, just in the past year.
Go look it up. How many people have been exposed for hiding abuse of children, grooming children, and like massive operations for years, and got away with it a lot of times too.
Well, there's that movie Spotlight. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah,
it's about like in the, I think it was the late 70s or something, like a Boston newspaper.
Boston Globe or something, wasn't it?
Yeah. Did like this investigation that led to basically like exposed how the Catholic Church moves pedophile priests around from parish to parish.
Oh, I think I've
Just
seen this
how
movie.
many of them there were.
Oh my
And
god.
And they're
I found
everywhere.
that there was like 700 priests in the Boston area that had been moved around because of sexual abuse allegations. So
That's just in one area.
Yeah,
you're definitely
Like, just moved around from, like, one side of Boston to the other. It's like, all right, this guy's been hanging out in the, south neighborhoods and stuff, Boston, so we'll just send him over to the Arbor and, have a church over there.
in the wrong place if you want to find people actually grooming children.
Yeah, not to mention, like, I doubt, I mean, you're gonna leave your kids alone with drag queens. Not because you don't trust them or you think there's something wrong with them, but just because, like, generally the story hours, like, the parents accompany the children.
Right.
Like,
It's
in
they're
church
not doing
settings-
like, yeah, in church settings the fucking priest takes your kids on fucking camping trips. There's kids only events at the fucking church.
Where no adults are allowed, so they can kind of, like, slowly scurry kids away for their own weird, nefarious shit and trafficking.
There's, choir boys and choir girls and altar boys and altar girls and all that whole nine fucking. You're basically putting your child in the hands of these people. So, nothing like that's happening with drag queens. What do you guys think of A24 and the Halloween franchise? Personally, if they can make different stories like they originally planned, Halloween 3 would be interesting. I mean, yeah, I'm all for A24. A24 has got me won over. I don't think I've seen a bad movie with under their banner. So they definitely.
I don't think I have either myself.
With that. I don't really care much about the Halloween franchise, to be honest with you.
Yeah, TJ is probably the biggest lover of that franchise, but I can tell you what they did with Halloween Kills and running that franchise into the fucking ground. A24 would be a perfect place for that franchise to land. And actually probably
Be,
really
yeah.
get back more to, I wouldn't say it's roots, but just something more interesting. Give us a new take on the whole Michael Myers story. So we've seen Rob Zombie take a crack at it. We've seen...
I mean, there really needs to be, basically. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, there really needs to be just, like, some sort of different creativity to it. Like, I mean, if Hollywood or whoever, or, like, these, movie companies are gonna, like, kind of, like, milk, like, these same franchise stuff, at least just do something totally different with that. I mean, that could be a little fresh, kind of add a little, flair to the whole franchise and shit. I mean, that would actually, be something that could be worth, an investment on. Shocker. Because a lot of people will be into it.
more modern iteration. And I think they had something with the first couple movies, especially the first one. But I mean, when Halloween Kills, I mean, that just sunk the franchise to me. They've really got to do something different. So A24 would be I would be thrilled to hear Halloween is going to find a new home.
Yeah. I checked out of the franchise when Halloween H2O happened.
This person
H2O?
is a fucking Halloween Ends was great. You are a fucking moron. That, I mean, it completely
Yeah, that one was just bad.
discards the other two movies. It makes Michael Myers into a little bitch.
Yeah, it was just shit.
know.
Like, no.
You're banned.
L. Banned!
That's one of the
Damn,
dumbest things
Scotty.
I've fucking heard in my life. I won't even fucking entertain that shit. I'm a fascist when it comes to that. Halloween Ends. Terrible
See, Scotty has a lot more of a hardcore band hammer than Paul does.
movie. Paul, did you watch any of the new Halloween movies?
No. I have refused to watch. I haven't even seen the fucking Rob Zombie one. Or the
Yeah, I
Rob
didn't miss
Zombie
anything with
ones.
that either. that was dog shit too.
I stopped. I checked out of the franchise with Halloween H2O. I went and saw Halloween H2O at a drive-in in my little hometown when it came out.
Dude, why H2, dude, that just already sounds fucking trash.
Go to a drive-in. That's a cool experience, at least.
Yeah, but it was a dog shit movie.
Yeah. Yeah, Scotty embracing his
I mean, Scotty has always banned people at least as much as I have.
Oh my god.
Nah, you banned them more.
I know it's not loved by this people, but it's like most people. But it's like the Dark Knight Rises. You know, Paul made a death.
I actually enjoyed it. Banned.
Like, dude, I was the original banhammer motherfucker. I mean, come on. I know that Paul likes to ban a lot too, but I mean, dude, I've banned my fucking share of people. The least ban happy one here is TJ. 100%.
Yeah, for sure. He definitely will give the most consideration to him. I just do it on impulse.
Paul just like ban.
Yep. Governor Gretchen Whitmer signs legislation to ban child marriage in Michigan. Wow.
Well, why wasn't it banned before?
Welcome to the fucking 21st century, Michigan.
That's
Nice. At least it's, another base thing for Michigan.
Headline.
Hell yeah.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer signed legislation to prevent child marriage
This should have probably happened a long time ago, but
and protect minors. The bills raise the minimum age for a person to consent to marriage to 18. Keeping Michiganders, I hate that fucking term.
Michiganders.
Oh my god.
I'm a
Safe
Michigander.
and healthy is one of my top priorities, and today's
Can't it just be Michigonian or something?
bipartisan bills will build our efforts to protect young people, especially young women, from abuse. Yeah, I mean, the fact that this is still legal anywhere in the United States is fucking shocking.
And I guarantee the last state to ban this would be Texas.
Even more shocking that, like, it's perpetuated by the people on the right that are all scared of groomers and shit. It's like the right wing holds on to these fucking child marriage bills like they're, precious pearls or whatever, and then worried that some drag queen is grooming their children. It's like, no, you're marrying them off, weirdo.
Yeah, it's like you should be 18.
Yeah, it's like all this like sexual grooming and like exploitation and child trafficking happens within churches, within far right and right wing circles and conservative circles, and that's why it's just always been projection. It's like these motherfuckers adopt protests, beyond too much, and like when it comes to actually breaking it down and actually cracking down on that type of shit and investigating that stuff, shocker, it always comes back to them.
It's pretty simple. Pretty fucking clear to me that you want someone to get married. I mean, if I'll be honest with you, I think a lot of shit should be older. Like, I think it should be like 21. The military, all that stuff. Like, your brain should have more time to develop.
Yeah, when it comes to military, I agree, for sure.
Military shit for sure.
I think the military is a damn sight more dangerous than, being able to buy alcohol or whatever. But that's just me.
But I mean, even with marriage,
I think a lot of people probably would agree with that anyway. Just the virtue of just like the fact that like, oh yeah, you can't drink beer, but you can pick up this gun to shoot somebody, for the state. It's like, I mean, if I'm gonna be doing that, can I at least, be drinking a fucking beer or something? Like, goddamn, dude. Like, bruh.
18. Now, I think, a sex relationship is different. I think 18 would be fine for that. But, I mean, as far as, like, getting, like, and honestly, for me, I think a lot of things should be a test. Like, number one, like, if someone's taking a loan, like, I'm not against people getting loans, but I think it should be quizzed on, like, how much in interest will you pay? Like, I definitely think that, we need more testing for people to make sure that when they undertake these huge obligations, they actually understand, like, what they're getting into. I think a lot of people, the biggest issue is they're really not informed about what they're doing. Like, joining the military, it's like, you don't realize how fucked you are. Like, you sign that piece of paper. I mean, there's ways out of it, but none of them are easy. No. And it's going to fuck your life up, I guarantee. Because if you get a dishonorable discharge from the military, that really fucks your shit up.
It certainly does.
Yep. Stays on your fucking record and follows you around, for sure. Issue with that is the military wants strapping young boys to enlist, not the dude in his late 20s. I mean,
of course.
Understood. I still think.
I mean, honestly, I bet if they could, they'd probably be like, can we get these 15-year-olds to come join the military so we can get them to shoot people? Like, I mean, it's like, if they could, they would.
It's pretty fucking predatory to get 18-year-olds to sign their lives away and be shipped across the fucking world to shoot at people.
Oh, and they start working
Yeah.
on you young. I mean, in high school, they have ROTC. They start trying to, I mean, they really, like, I remember.
I mean, in my high school, like every day from like Monday and Friday and shit, they would have like a different branch of the military show up, be like, "Hey, what's up? Want to get recruited?"
one time, because he was on that military shit, like, he wanted to be in the military.
Even before high school, I was in a thing called the Civil Air Patrol, which is basically just like a little,
Cap.
military organization or whatever the fuck for kids. I don't know if
Yeah.
it really does anything anymore. It probably does. Probably still exists, but it was a thing when I was in. I think I was like 8 or 9. Getting into the Civil Air Patrol. Well, I wasn't really in it. I went to one meeting of it, and it was fucking weird. So I didn't go again.
You're like, Mom, Dad, please don't make me
Don't make me go to this kid. This sucks.
I think I told the story about that. Like, the meeting was at some fucking shed.
A shed?
We're like out.
What?
Yeah, it was like it was some outbuilding on an airstrip that just was dusty and old and shit. And the dude that was leading it was like, "Oh, we got a couple of new recruits here today." It was me and my friend went together. And he was like, "We got a couple of new recruits today. Why don't you go back in the back room there and get some sodas for everybody? There's a case of soda. Just bring the case of soda out." We went in this back fucking closet, and there was a case of orange Faygo covered in cockroaches back there.
Oh my god! What the fuck is this place?
Dude.
Fago,
I was
bro.
like, what? What's going on? So yeah, I never went back to that.
Bruh.
But yeah, like the fucking Boy Scouts is basically like a military prep program. For sure.
Yeah, it definitely is.
So they start young for sure.
Gotta get them while they're young.
Get them young.
A juggalo Civil Air Patrol guy was trying to groom you?
Yeah.
Joining the military?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Cockroach Faygo.
Cockroach orange Fago, bro.
Air Force Paul!
Whoop whoop, one join Civil Air Patrol, boy.
Fucking sprayed for roaches, you might have got me.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
41-year-old woman found dead after Florida alligator is spotted with a body in its mouth. Damn.
What the fuck? Okay, well, off to a crazy story to another. What the fuck? Did someone feed the gator, or did the gator just like go, it's marching time? Like, what happened here? Oh my god.
Gator, dude.
That's a big old gator, boy.
Oh my
Holy
fucking
shit.
god.
See if there's a...
Holy shit, dude, that is a big oh my fucking god, that gator's huge. Dude, that is at least like 15 fucking, like 11 to 15 feet, somewhere around there, dude. Oh my god, that thing's huge. Bruh.
Goddess.
Bruh. Holy
Okay. Gonna do it.
shit.
Don't play, buddy.
These news sites are so shit.
Tonight, investigation is
Investigation.
an alligator swimming down a canal with a human torso in its mouth. Rochelle Aline, FTS, has the
Metal as
I was
fuck.
walking over here to work and interview.
An afternoon stroll to a job interview brought divers, deputies, and distress to a Largo neighborhood on Friday.
And I just happened to look over in this lake and I saw the alligator head, but then like once I looked closer, it had like a bottom like torso in its mouth.
Jamarcus Bullard tells us he didn't believe what he was seeing.
My brain was trying to like not believe it, but like it was real.
ABC Action News Air 1 shows crews pulling that gator out of McKay Creek just north of Ridgecrest Park, and witnesses say it was killed.
They told us it was 13 feet long, and it was a sec.
Oh my god, it was 13 feet. Like I said, about like 11 to 15. It was 13 feet. It was like splitting the difference. Oh my fucking god, that is huge. Holy shit.
Gator that was bigger. The helicopters picked up a heat signature from the infrared, but they couldn't get it.
The Benel
Damn, this guy knows his shit.
Dude, what? Yeah,
Smart guy.
that shit
Yeah,
happens.
dude, I'm...
Shit. Wow.
Oh, what were you saying?
Oh, sorry, I was, I jumped over you.
I know, sorry.
I was just saying, like, every time this fucking shit happens, Like, I hear they killed the animal. It's like, what the fuck did the gator? I mean, like, look, if they know for a fact the gator went, and got the woman and killed her, then hey, that's one thing. But how we know this woman was just murdered, and the gator's like, hey, it's a fucking free meal, and swam up to eat the fucking woman.
I mean, that is true. I mean, but the thing is, it's like a man-eating gator now. Like, the gator's it literally has a taste for human flesh. So, I mean, I think it's just the risk of the fact that regardless of the circumstances, it's likely to potentially try to eat other people because it tastes human flesh, and it might be like, this is good. So,
I mean, the dead.
Yeah, true. Good point. How do we know that this dude that was the witness didn't feed that woman to the gator?
Oh shit, bro. Dun dun dun.
He might have like dumped her in and went like, whoop. The gator's like, I'm hungry. Starts eating her and shit. And it's like, oh, I can't believe it.
My brain just couldn't register that.
No. But yeah, that's pretty metal. I don't know. What are they gonna do with that gator? You think they'll just dispose of it? Or you think they'll fucking... Because that's got to be some good eating right there.
You know what they primarily eat with the gator's the tail.
Yeah, that's where all the muscle and shit is.
Well, there's going to be a lot of meat on that tail.
The best eating boy. Dude, I love eating gator. That's like one that like a strong Louisiana thing that I definitely do. Anytime I see alligator, I pretty much order it. That fried gator, boy. Oh, that fried gator good, boy.
I think I did have some fucking fried gator bites one time. It just tasted chicken-y to me. Very poultry-ish.
Yeah, it does. Blackened gator is good. Yeah, blackened gator, you gotta nail blackened gator, though. Like, fried gator, not as much. Blackened gator, you gotta do perfect. Or it's not that good.
I need to try some gator someday. Gator sounds pretty good.
Badass, dude. I mean, hippos live with crocodiles.
Gator sounds pretty good, I tell you what, there, boy.
But sometimes they get eaten by crocodiles and stuff too. That's the whole price. But I mean, a lot of times they just live in harmony.
Speaking of the Army, you might want to look into former Marine officer Scott Ritter's coverage of the Ukraine war. 500K Ukraine men gone in 1 year. Hey, it's worth it, dude. It's worth it. Dude, it's worth it. For freedom. For freedom.
500,000 dead,
Freedom.
dude. What the fuck?
I do it for freedom.
Freedom.
Some general election numbers here that Scotty pulled to kind of go over. Taking a look at some things that ought to be pretty fucking scary. To all of us, maybe. I don't know, but definitely to people who are...
Well, I guess if you want Trump to win, I mean, maybe not so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many people in our audience actually want Trump to be president. I doubt many, but...
I hope none, frankly.
In that perspective, you'd be happy, but otherwise, the RCP average here looks like, I mean, it's a fucking... I mean, the most generous way you can say is the dead heat.
Yeah, it's kind of looking like toss-up shit.
Well, you're looking at, I mean, some have Biden up. YouGov has Biden up by 5. Morning Consult has Biden up by 1.
ABC has that, like, 10-plus
Trump
point poll.
1.1 points. This is despite Trump being, I guess, found, I mean, we'll probably cover it, his organizations being fraudulent.
Duh.
Numerous indictments, 90 charges, 90 counts, 4 indictments.
All this other fun bullshit.
If the plan was to take Trump out and get him less popular, it seems to not have worked because Trump is fucking.
Because he should have got on Fifth Avenue and still be popular. Didn't he fucking buy a gun, which is technically illegal for him to do because, like, you know, he's under indictment charges and shit, so legally he can't get a gun, and he's like, I like this gun, I want to buy it. So he, like, bought a fucking gun.
Think that it was gonna fucking work. I mean, I figured maybe, like, if they were able to get the shit done prior to the election and get him sentenced and stuff, that might do it, but I don't think anybody that was supportive of Trump like really gives a fuck about the indictments, unfortunately.
They don't.
Well, Trump's hammered home too. I mean, for years and years.
If anything, they think it's all just false and fraudulent anyway, so they don't give a shit.
It's all bullshit. They're all fucking in cahoots. It's all fake. There's just a massive conspiracy and deep state that doesn't want you to succeed, wants the average American to fail and be miserable. And I'm the only one fighting for you. I'm the only one that cares about you. They want massive illegal immigration. They want people pouring over the border. They want like kids on drugs. They want to make your kid into a weird tranny freak. They want to fucking poison your schools. They want to do all kinds of horrible stuff. And the only one's going to stop them.
And they want to destroy it with nothing but fascistic left and Marxist communism. Let me just tell you, very sad.
I'm the only thing. And I mean, and just being super vague. You know, I watched like Trump did a Meet the Press interview, and it was like over an hour, and I watched the entire thing. And it was, I mean, basically just Trump lying, Trump selling his usual bullshit. And just saying, look, I'm going to make America great again.
I mean, yeah, it's just like, haven't seen any of that, but I know what he's talking about, and I just didn't even bother wanting to even look at it because of just how absurd and fucking unhinged it was in the first place.
So it's like, okay. Well,
just utterly ridiculous.
You know, like, wow. And I mean, if you look at the Trump administration's achievements, I mean, legislatively, it was basically just tax cuts for rich people, deregulation. I mean, if you're a billionaire, which most people allege Trump is actually not a billionaire.
I mean, at this point, he certainly isn't anymore.
If you're rich, you can vote for Trump.
I mean, it's like if he was at one point, he certainly sure shit ain't now.
Economically, if you look at your economic interest purely.
Well, I think that's being underestimated when people look at these polls. I think people look at these polls and they just imagine like, holy fuck, there's like, 100 million of these crazy slavering, MAGA hat wearing Trumpites out there. I think that's a smaller piece of his pie than people give it credit for. I think a lot of these people are just voting with their wallet. Like, a lot of these people are just tuned out politically.
Certainly.
And looking at inflation where it stands now, and looking at fucking gas prices where they stand now, food prices, housing prices, and going like, hey, shit was easier under Trump. I'm voting Trump.
Even though obviously the facts of reality is the opposite when it comes to that. But people do just kind of look at it at a very surface level, and if anything might, occasionally look at mainstream news or something like that, maybe once or twice, or like an article here and there. But it's still, for the most part, pretty apolitical about it. And we'll just kind of look at certain little things like, oh yeah, Trump's talking with, UAW people, or this and that, blah, blah, blah. Like, they see that and they're like, oh, well, yeah, this guy seems like he's giving a shit, so yeah, him, yeah. Like, most people don't, pay that much attention to this type of shit, unfortunately.
I think that accounts for a huge portion of Trump's lead here that really gets ignored. I think a lot of times when people look at this, they're just like, oh, these crazy people fucking out on the grassy knoll waiting for JFK Jr. to return. I think that's like...
And those people are easy to dismiss because, I mean, those people aren't even operating in reality. But, I mean, we were talking about the average, fucking schmuck on the fucking street that's looking at it. And, hey, what's one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Joe Rogan Experience, right? And he's out there talking to people I think was better under Trump. I think the economy was better. And that gets disseminated throughout the population. The economy was better. Trump was better for the economy. And if you're voting on that issue, you look at economics, and they haven't vastly improved under Biden, you're just going to go, well, it's an easy decision. The other guy was better. The other guy it worked out better for us. So if I vote for him, that's somehow going to make it better. Now, I don't think it's going to. I don't think Trump's going to wave some magic wand and housing prices are going to go down. And
definitely not. If anything, this type of shit will literally just only exacerbate way more significantly, under his watch. And if anything, like, that would probably be a linchpin for a lot of people to have like a full fucking reality check about it. But it's like, I'd rather that not be the case, like, I mean, because I feel like, that, really it's like that, whole like reality check's gonna happen regardless. And I'd rather not be accelerated under a fucking fascistic shitbag, that is like Trump. Especially with a lot of things that he's been claiming.
Go down, and people are gonna be able to afford things much easier. I don't think it's going to just magically happen no matter who wins the election. I don't think if Biden or Trump or pretty much anybody. Unless there's going to be, a massive social upheaval in America, and we're totally going to change how our society is organized and regimented. I guess Manson agrees. But beyond that, beyond some radical change, I don't see any of these trends reversing. I don't even see how they could. I mean, if you look at climate change, one of the reasons why we're told food prices are up is obviously inflation, but it's also crop failures. It's harder and harder to grow stuff. I mean, the hottest years, 10 of the most hottest years have happened in the 2010s, and we're in 2023. What do you think that does to the ecosystem? What do you think it does to growing crops? makes it harder. You know, then obviously we have wars. We have the war, obviously the Ukraine-Russia war, or Russian war. So, you know, that's affected grain prices. We have, obviously, lots of energy instability. Energy's a volatile thing. That makes the cost of transporting things even greater.
Plus, obviously, just like a lot of natural resource extraction places like in Africa, too.
We have all these
Which we're
factors.
going to talk about from the other night.
You know, of course, you know, on Russia, by the way, and the Ukraine, Trump's going to solve that in like a couple days, according to him.
Yep.
He's elected, you know, and he's like, look, I told Putin, no, don't do it. And that's the reason he stayed out, pretty much. Though the reason was that Trump said no.
He literally pulled like a it's like, you knocked that out. It's like, don't you dare do that. Because apparently that's how, you know, you stop crazy fucking psychos from starting a war. It's just like, you cut it out.
He was already there. Russia invaded, and it was like 2014 they invaded Crimea. It was something like that.
Yeah.
So
They technically already did.
What happened there? Why didn't he get out? Because didn't you tell him to get out before? Why didn't you tell him to get out then?
Yeah.
You know, I guess he was. I guess he doesn't really think that far, but.
Well, it's Trump.
not
He,
really
he literally
surprising.
thinks in the immediate sense. Like, no shit.
Well, I'm not surprised by these results. I mean, and America does it all the time. We're like a schizophrenic country. You know, we go from.
I mean, looking at those lines from below, like, they were literally going, lot, 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 lot. Like, going back and forth.
Next.
Like, we are
Oh,
schizophrenic as
Biden,
fuck
you
about this
failed me.
shit.
Who do I run back to? I'll run back to the arms of Trump. Maybe Trump will save me.
I mean, this is the low information voter, I think. I think that's also why Biden has good numbers, too. I think a lot of people are voting for Biden on a whim, or just because he's a Democrat, or, you know, because of some...
If you're talking political advice from, taking political advice from Joe Rogan, they should just be allowed to vote. Oh my god, dude, what a
serving
fucking
economic
edgelord.
interest.
Taking a political advice from Joe Rogan, you shouldn't be allowed to vote. They still are. They're
Yeah.
still gonna.
Still gonna do it. Good
If
lord.
Trump wins, I expect he'll pull out of the Ukraine. Of Ukraine, sorry. I said the Ukraine. People get mad. Maybe Paul should vote. Should
Vote?
vote for Trump?
Vote?
Just for that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, I certainly guarantee you that Trump will not, you know, like, get people to pull out. Like, nope.
Got my boat.
Yeah, because, I mean, you know, if the weird magical little, like, you know, fairy decided to make that happen, then, yeah, he's totally got my boat.
I don't think
Oh my god.
I don't think position on voting pretty clear. I don't think Trump's going to be able to get Paul's vote.
Yeah.
Let's see.
The only way I'm voting in this electoral cycle is if Biden actually fucking keeps pressing on the labor issue. And
Yeah.
I think, well, we'll get to that, I guess, when we get down there. But I want to see actual policy change. I'm not as enamored with the fact that he showed up to a protest as a lot of people on the left are.
I mean, yeah, it's a
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, all in all, it was kind of like a PR stunt at the end of the day, but it's nonetheless still good, and still good for the UAW to get that coverage. So, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, that's, you know, what's, you know, like, still positive about it. But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily get hyper enamored over some shit like that, though, that's for sure. But, idiot. I think I'll at least, you know, get myself ready, change out a little bit, and get myself off to a show. So, I'll call it good for now, so peace out, and see y'all till later tonight, or when